Greetings everyone. Today we are going to have a quick revision of the chapter Cell Cycle and Cell Division Part 1 of Class 11 Biology. I hope that you have a fair knowledge of the basics of it before we start over here. Today we'll learn about Cell Cycle and Cell Division Part 1. So what do you understand by cell cycle? Whenever we see the word cell cycle, the first thing that should come to our mind is sequential or sequence, the sequential events by which a cell grows, any mother cell which grows and divides into two daughter cells. That is called cell cycle. So everything happens in a sequence of events. Everything is predetermined, everything is pre-decided. Cell growth is a continuous process, and DNA synthesis is something which takes place only in one specific stage in the cell cycle. Now, why do you think we have to study about cell cycle, or why is it important to understand about cell cycle properly or get the basics clear? Because more than any other metabolic function or any other thing that is happening in the living body, the most important is cell cycle, because it helps you to understand the functioning of a proper healthy individual. For example, if there is an abnormality in the cell cycle, you can understand that by pathophysiology and by other symptoms and other things, that you'll understand that, for example, there is a cancer disease. Okay, so what happens in cancer disease? There is a cell cycle checkpoint error. Okay, checkpoints, we'll get to know what are checkpoints later. So this is very important to understand as of now, that cell cycle is getting the basics is very important, because it helps you to understand whether a body is abnormally functioning or normally functioning if the cell cycle is understood properly. Now, phases of cell cycle, there are two basic phases of cell cycle if you have to talk broadly. One is the interphase, another is the M phase. Interphase is the L, that is the longest phase, and M phase is the shortest phase, that is the S phase. Now, it is not something which is fixed in every human being, like how much or how long this is going to happen, because it differs from an organism to another. For example, in human beings, it divides once in every 24 hours, and yeast cells it divides once in every 90 minutes. So it is very specific of the kind of organism that it is talking about. Now, another example I'll give you. For example, in E. coli shows it in 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes. Now, and this Mycobacterium tuberculosis takes 20 days. So you can understand the difference. There's a vast difference. So it is very much specific of the kind of organism that you're talking about. Now, in 24 hours, in case of human beings, if there is a 24 hours duration, interphase takes around 23 hours, whereas M phase takes about 1 hour only. That is why I said 23 hours. So it is the longest phase in the cell cycle. Now, they can be further divided. Interphase is also called the resting phase. Why is it called so? Because apparently from outside, when we see, we understand that it is not doing any function, or the cell is absolutely silent, it is quietly sitting, but it is not the case, because inside what happens is the cell is actually preparing itself to take for the next functions to happen. Like, the most crucial and the most important part is the DNA synthesis. For that to happen, the interphase is actually the resting phase, or rather it is preparing all the other protein complexes, because for one single round of DNA replication to take place, there are innumerable protein complexes that are involved in it, which are very, very complex structures, and nobody but the cell has to prepare for that particular protein structure. So in case of DNA replication, that interphase is basically preparing itself. That you have to understand, that undergoing the cell growth and DNA replication. DNA now divided, it's divided further into G1 phase, the S phase, and the G2 phase. How are they named, or why are they named like that? G1 phase is the gap phase. So why is it called the gap phase? Because though the cell is metabolically active and continues to grow like simultaneously, there is no DNA replication that happens. We are only looking at something which is visible, some change that you can see, but in case of G1 phase, there is no change seen, and there is no DNA replication as well. So there is no point of any kind of growth observed in G1 phase, but the cell is metabolically active, as I said. Now, in case of S phase, that is the synthesis phase, DNA replication takes place. So one of the most important features and the stages where your replication of DNA is the most crucial factor, and here amount of DNA per cell will double. and chromosome number remains the same. Now here something that I would like to say is, from the mother cell, when we are dividing into two daughter cells, the mother cell actually ensures that the two daughter cells are getting equal amount of DNA, equal amount of cytoplasm, equal amount of protein complexes, and all the other organelles are equally divided. So it's not like daughter A gets more than daughter B or any sort of partiality happens. No, nature doesn't favor anything like that. So to ensure equal distribution of the cellular constituents, what happens is, in this stage only, when the mother cell is about to divide into two daughter cells, the protein content or the DNA content or whatever it is becomes 2x. Okay, the DNA content becomes double. Why does it become double? Because you know this is mitosis. Mitosis means equational division. So there is equal division. Okay, so if it is 2x, it will give x here and it will give x here, because ideally mother cell also had x once upon a time. It also had x amount of constituents. So it will divide. So all this throughout, as I was telling you, G1 phase, at the starting of the interphase, we thought that it was actually sitting quietly, but no, it was actually preparing. It was doubling its constituents inside. Now coming to the G2 phase, G2 is something where protein synthesis will be taking place. Okay, protein synthesis, as I told you, for a one round of DNA replication, there are around 20 complexes of ribozymes or ribosomes that are required, and which are very important to understand that protein synthesis is a crucial step for mitosis preparation. And cell growth continues in the G2 phase as well. So major factor that is happening here is protein. So here we got the cell metabolically active, here we got the DNA replication complete, and here we got the protein synthesis. So our main motive of entering into the M phase is clear. Now there are certain cells which don't divide at all. For example, heart cells, cardiac cells will not show any kind of division, or some cells that divide occasionally, that is sometimes only they will divide. Okay, further, when the cells do not have any work of division, they will enter the G0 phase, right? G0. Now G is for gap, as you already know, but why is it 0? Why do you think 0 is written here? Because it is an inactive stage, and it is also called quiescent stage. Okay, quiescent stage, it is very inactive. It will be a dormant stage. The cells will remain metabolically active, but they will not divide. Metabolism will happen inside, but they won't show any kind of division. In animals, mitotic cell division takes place in the diploid only, and in the plant cells it happens in both the haploid and the diploid cells, right? Now moving on to M phase, that is called the mitosis phase. In the mitosis phase, what happens? It is called equational division. As I already explained while explaining the division, this is called equational division. Why? Because the parent and the progeny cells ultimately will have the same number of chromosomes. Okay, there is no partiality, there is nothing here, but there is like equal amount of chromosomes. But in case of meiosis, as of now, we already know that meiosis is a reductional division. That means whatever the mother cell had, half of that will be passed on to the daughter cells, right? So mitosis is a different thing here, and it starts with nuclear division. It starts with karyokinesis. First, what happens? Karyokinesis means nuclear division, and then cytokinesis happens. So first the nucleus will divide, and then the area surrounding it will divide. So that has to be made clear. Now this M phase is further divided into 4 stages: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, that we are already studying from, I guess, class 10. Now for prophase, that is the first phase in the cell cycle that we already know. What happens here? Condensing. It is called the condensation stage. Okay, condensing of the chromosomes with 2 chromatids attached at the centromere. You know what is a centromere? Centromere is a place which attaches the 2 chromatids together. Okay, so it's the central point of 2 chromatids attached. This is called the centromere. So here it condenses the chromosomes. Mitotic spindle, microtubules, proteins, etc. starts to assemble all around the cell. Whichever mitotic spindle was there, tubules was there, proteins, whatever was there, they start to assemble. Why do they start to assemble? Because next process is nuclear envelope disintegration. Okay, and all this inner complexes like nucleolus, Golgi complex, ER, endoplasmic reticulum, all this will disappear. Why will it disappear? Because further rearrangement of the cell will take place. Okay, further rearrangement will take place. How? Because Prophase, this much you have to understand, that condensation of chromosomes happens. Okay, centromere becomes very prominent. Mitotic spindle will start to assemble because its function will become clear next stage, and a nuclear envelope will start disintegrating, and nucleolus Golgi complex, all this will disappear. This is the main points that you have to remember for the case of prophase, very very importantly. Now coming to the metaphase, that is the second stage in the mitosis stage. So complete breakdown of the nuclear envelope. Now you can't see nuclear envelope anymore. Microtubules will be seen to get attached to the kinetochore. What do you mean by this kinetochore? They are the disc-shaped structures which are ultimately attached to centromere only. To this area only there will be some kinetochores attached, right? This centromere area. Now those are called kinetochores. Microtubules will get attached to that. Now spindle fibers will attach to the kinetochore of the chromosomes. So wherever you have seen that in the metaphase stage, the next point says that it moves to the spindle equator and aligns at the metaphase plate. Metaphase plate means what? All of the chromosomes will enter an area of spindle equator. Equator is generally present where? In the middle, always in the center. So if this is the cell, you will find the equator in the central area. So all the chromosomes will show themselves very beautifully aligned in this stage, in this area. Okay, this is the plane of alignment of the chromosomes at the metaphase. Very beautifully it can be observed under the microscope after this cell division, when you want to observe the cell division. So this is a very prominent stage. So complete breakdown of the nuclear envelope happens and microtubules get attached to the kinetochore. What you are about to happen to remember is nuclear envelope will be completely disintegrating, and kinetochores will be very prominent, and spindle fibers will be attaching to those, and most important is the spindle equator. At the spindle equator you find all the chromosomes coming and attaching here. Okay, all of them will come and sit here. They will be, this sort of arrangement, you look at this and you understand this is metaphase. Okay, now each sister chromatid is held by spindle fibers originating from the opposite poles. Yeah, I'll just explain with the help of the diagram. Here if you see, this is the equatorial plane. Here you can see all of them aligning in the equator, and these are the centrioles. As I said, the spindle fibers are trying to, if you see, these are the chromosomes, right? Now this is trying to get pulled away. Okay, the spindle fibers are trying to pull one pair towards themselves, towards the centrioles. Okay, this is the major factor in metaphase. In prophase you see the centrioles will separate, and this is the cell membrane as usual, nuclear membrane, and inside you see things become very prominent. Like you can actually find, this is the chromosome. Okay, this is the individual chromosomes, you can spot them, and here they try arranging in the equatorial plane. Next, coming on to the anaphase. Anaphase is again very prominent feature under microscope, because here centromere split and the chromosomes will separate and the chromatids will move towards the opposite poles. See, anaphase is something which you can differentiate into early anaphase, late anaphase and only anaphase. Okay, in the anaphase you see this was the metaphase, right? You found everything in the equatorial plane. In the anaphase you see they start separating. Okay, this was together, they are starting to separate. Why will they separate? They will separate and go here. They will move towards the poles, right? That's why it's very important to understand in early anaphase that they have to move towards the poles. And in anaphase, the actual anaphase, you see they have already moved almost towards the poles. Chromatids, they are moving. They are approaching the opposite ends of the spindle. Almost, this is the direction of movement. Make that clear. Okay, they were arranged here. Then they started moving to here when the spindle fibers started attracting them. Then late anaphase is when they have already reached the poles. Okay, this is one pole, this is another pole. Now it will be very easy to understand, I hope, because both the centromeres have, all the centromeres have split and both the poles have filled chromatids now. Now telophase is something which is the last stage where chromosomes form cluster at opposite poles. Cluster means they form a group, okay, lose their individuality and they start to decondense, because in the prophase they were already in the condensed stage. In the telophase Again we are trying to come back to the prophase stage only, so they have to start to decondense. Nuclear envelope will surround the chromosomal cluster, nucleolus, Golgi complex, ER will come back. So all these three had gone away with the prophase stage. Now they will all again come back because the cell has to attain its original conformation, right? So this is the telophase. If you see, this is here, we found that what did we see here? This completely divided, went north pole, this went south pole. Now here this constriction will be clear, okay, it will be completely separated, and the cell will individually divide into two. It was one cell here, it was one cell here, okay, and here it will become two. So you see centriole replication happening, chromosomes are uncoiling, they are disappearing, and their cell individually, divides into two, nuclear membrane is reforming. And the telophase is followed by then cytokinesis. Telophase happens after that. Cytokinesis means this is only about the nucleus, right? After that we have to ensure that the cytoplasm also divides, so cytokinesis happens. Now what is cytokinesis? In animal cells there is a furrow in the plasma membrane, and that gradually divides the cell cytoplasm and separates the daughter cells. And in plants the same thing happens, but through a cell plate. Through a cell plate formation, simple precursor that leads to the formation. Cell, this is like two different names given, one in case of animal, this is the furrow, and this is the cell plate, that's all. Animal cell cleavage furrow happens here, and in the plant cell you can see cell plate formation. This is called the cell plate formation. Very, very beautifully you will see the two individual cells that are divided. Now significance of mitosis. Now that we know all the steps properly, we know prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, we know how does it happen, the sequence of events, and then after cytokinesis again when the cell grows up it will go with the same process, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. So why do you think this mitosis is important, or why do you think it has to happen at all? First of all, mitosis means production of diploid daughter cells, okay, diploid daughter cells with identical genetic complement. There is no question of any genetic combination with any other sort of cell, because here whatever the mother has, the same thing the daughter will have. If the mother is a good cell, the daughter will be a good cell. If the mother has some fault, that fault will be carried on in the daughter cells also. So that can be an advantage, disadvantage both at the same time. So identical genetic complement, growth of multicellular organisms. Okay, so multicellular organisms, this is the one and only type of cell division which is like the sole way by which the multicellular organisms in the somatic cells are growing. Okay, not in the sex cells, but in the somatic cells we are finding this growth. And cell repair. Suppose any kind of cell has suffered some sort of injury, and now it has to repair. It will repair only through mitosis. Okay, suppose if there is an injury, suppose if there is a surgery that has happened, and those cells, that area has to recover, so it will recover only through mitosis. Okay, and mitotic division, so we this is a very, very special mechanism that we should understand, because if anything happens, it is like a magic. It is like, you know, making everything proper as it was before. And mitotic division in meristematic tissues result in continuous growth of plants throughout their life. In meristematic tissues, which keeps growing, you know, in plants it keeps growing. So throughout the plant there is a continuous growth that you can observe in their life, in the plant life. So mitotic division is a very, very much you can consider it as a blessing that human beings also have got this sort of a division in their somatic cells. So that's why we should understand why we should study about mitosis, what are the stages inside, and this is like significance, or you can write about the advantages of mitosis. The same points will be coming into picture. If they ask about advantages of mitosis, it is the same thing. Alright, so I hope this clears the concept. Now, let me also take a moment to introduce you to MissionAid. It is an online tutoring and mentoring service which connects you to Tier 1 college students of IIT, NITs, AIMS, etc., from which you can ask any kind of doubts which you may have with regards to your competitive or board examinations. Their fees start from a menial 1000 rupees per subject per month, where you get the said services along with AI-based feedback as well. You can reach out to them at contact@missionaid.in for any queries. That marks the end of our session. Hope that was good. Make sure that you like the video and subscribe to our channel for further updates. Thank you.